Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make date cookies using just these ingredients, and as always I've written a full blog post which I'll leave down below, which you can click through to pin, bookmark and save whenever you want to make this recipe. And be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and comment too, let me know if you give these cookies a try. So the past couple of months I have been working through the AIP diet, which is the autoimmune protocol diet, and you eliminate dairy, eggs, nuts, sugar, grains, everything from your diet, and then slowly one by one you bring it back in again. And recently I brought in eggs successfully and butter too, so I couldn't resist making cookies, and I'm not quite at the stage of having cocoa powder or chocolate yet, so instead of using chocolate chips I've been breaking up little dates to make little date chips. So really just chop up dates, make a basic cookie, put it all together, and you've got really nice cookies that are gluten-free, grain-free, and so good. So the first step is melting butter. We're going to melt 100 grams of butter and also pop the oven on to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. Get out a baking tray and line it with well-greased baking paper. Before I actually get baking, let me quickly talk you through the ingredients we're using today. I've got coconut flour. That is the flour that I'm using to bind it all together. We've got coconut sugar that I'm using. You can use whichever sugar you like. On AIP we're not allowed to use stevia, so coconut sugar is allowed. If you want to make these low carb you could use stevia, and you could also just use low carb chocolate for chocolate chips. The rest of the cookie will work perfectly well. And I'm using, it's called bread soda, but it's actually baking soda. That's what they call it here in Ireland. I've got sea salt, I've got a bit of unsalted butter, eggs, and as I said, dates I'm going to be using to just chop them up into little chips to pop them into the cookies. So let's get on and melt our butter as step one. So I've got the oven on now, which is the noise in the background. I'm just melting the butter in a small saucepan, and once it's melted I'll just pour it into a bowl. Okay, butter is melted. We'll just pour it into a bowl and then add all the other ingredients one by one, starting with 1/3 cup of coconut sugar, which smells so good, and just whisk that in. And you'll notice these cookies will be more golden in color than pure white because of the sugar that I'm using. If you use stevia or another kind of white sugar, it will be a lot whiter cookies. And we'll add in a pinch of salt. Whisk in an egg, you could also add in vanilla if you want for flavor. I haven't added that in yet because of the elimination diet, but you could add in 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of vanilla if you want as well. I am going to use 1/2 teaspoon of bicarb. You could use a teaspoon as well of baking powder if you want, but again I haven't been able to use that on this diet, so it's a very restricted cookie recipe, but you can definitely adapt it. So I'll just whisk in the bicarb, just give it a final whisk through, and then we're going to mix in the coconut flour and dates. Just fold them in with a spoon. So we'll add in 1/4 cup of coconut flour and fold it through. The coconut flour is very absorbent, but also needs a few minutes to get to work. So I am going to mix through the coconut flour, put it aside to kind of do its work, and then I'm going to chop up all the dates. So while the coconut flour is absorbing all this lovely liquid and forming our cookie dough, I will chop up the dates. And now you can use, I'll just pop it aside now, you can use as much or as little as you want, 1/2 cup to a cup. I've done it with 1/2 cup. The family prefer it with more, so I'm going to chop up all of these dates and pop them into the cookie dough. So there you go, I've very roughly chopped up all of the dates into little chips, like chocolate chips, and here is our cookie dough back. You can see it's thickened up quite a lot just from leaving it, and that is the perfect texture for these cookies. They're really soft but just beautiful. So we'll add all of the dates in and fold them through. I know it's a lot of dates, but my family have requested all the dates, so I will give them all the dates. Okay, I'm happy with that. Cookie dough looks pretty good. I'm just going to move it onto the cookie sheet now. Now for the cookies, I would say about a teaspoon or so per cookie. They're really sweet and rich and just so good, and a good heaped teaspoon per cookie is kind of perfect. So I'll just fill the sheet with cookies. And there you go, I filled the cookie sheet with cookies. You could definitely do a tablespoon if you want instead of a teaspoon, and you'll have bigger cookies, but I find they're quite a nice little bite-sized sweet treat. After being on keto and low carb for so long, I find them to be very sweet, so a little bite is just perfect, and then they last a few days as well. So I'm going to pop it into the preheated oven for 10 to 15 minutes until they're perfectly cooked, which I'll show you next. Cookies are out of the oven. House smells pretty amazing, and you take a closer look at one. They're just nice and soft. They're not too crisp, but they do harden up a little on cooling, so I'm just going to let them cool. And then over the next few days we've got these lovely cookies to enjoy, which are gluten-free and just taste so wonderful. So that is the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and comment too. Let me know if you give this recipe a try, and remember to check down below for the link to the blog post, which will have the full step-by-step instructions that you can pin, bookmark and save for whenever you want to make these cookies. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye!